Hey there, for this exercise, I'm going to say grab a resistance band with a fair amount of density on it. We're going to place it on the thighs just above the knee joints here, right? So you've done monster walks, you've done squats, but we're going to just kind of do a little combo thing, right? You're going to bend the knees, and you're just going to take side steps. You're going to pick your feet up like you're stepping over little Legos, and you don't want to step on them, and you're just stepping side to side, a little bit of hip flexion, right? If you're feeling this in your low back, I want you to double check that you've got your front ribs in the front of the hip points lined up with one another. So we are hip hinging here. A few more of these steps. I'm starting to feel this. I'm feeling it right there in my glute med. I'm just like waking it up, waking it up. All right, you're gonna end with your feet apart. End with the feet apart and make a little pivot to your, I'm going left, you can go right and mirror me. Right, the back heel is coming up and most of my weight is going to be in that front leg. Once I know I'm stable there, I'm going to straighten those legs completely. Upright, nice and tall. Now, we're going to bend the knees. And again, depending on your Achilles, depending on your hip flexion, the length of your lower leg will determine how low you go. Right, can you keep that kind of flat back feeling here? Pick up that Lego piece that you were stepping over and come all the way back up to stand. And you're going to do it again. You're going to bend the knees, push out into that band, pick up that imaginary piece and come up to stand, straighten the legs. Right, so we're going for that glute activation. Right, so as you're coming into this nice deep hip flexion, you're stretching out gluteus maximus on that front leg here. Right, and you're pushing out into that band with both legs. Right, we have to actually think about pushing out with that back leg a little bit more, right, because that heel's not on the ground, because our brain's not getting the same feedback from the sensory nerves on the feet. Right, one more time, go down and come back up. And from here, you're just gonna pivot to the other side. Right, so that back heel comes up, you're pushing out into the band, say, hey, glute med, finding that hip flexion, leaning forward, reaching. And sometimes I don't reach the ground, right? Sometimes my limitation is in that front hip, right? The knee can definitely go over the toes, right? That's really determined by the proportions of your lower leg to your upper leg. And you're reaching with that opposite arm. So if your right leg is forward and you're hinging, reaching to pick up that toy, right, it's the left hand that reaches to pick up. Really come all the way up to stand, right? It's like a breath. You don't want to cut the exhale short. Right? You really want to have that full exhalation. I don't have to do a lot of these to feel this work. Last one, come up, turn forward, step those feet together, and if you're like, yes, I want another round, I loved it, take another round. Do the side steps, then the pivots, right? You've got this. You have questions, ask. Have fun.